Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another Watchman Report on this Friday, October 3rd, 2025. This is your host, Marco Ponce of BeingJustified.com with the Friday edition of the Watchman Report, and we have an alert. As you can see on our thumbnail, Trump has come out and said there will be peace. We are forcing a move here to end the war before what looks to be the second year anniversary coming up next week. And we're going to cover where I get my thumbnail from, because I don't know if you could see that or not. Let me pull it up here. You can see right there on our thumbnail, we have Trump as a Grim Reaper. This is from a recent video that he published on social media that is very telling as to the midnight hour that is coming in with the tribulation. And I'm here to tell you that he gave a deadline to Hamas to finish the war and return the hostages on this coming Sunday. Now, if you've been following us for any length of time, I have highlighted the eclipse of the century for the reason being that it looks to be a very eventful day with what they like to call the supernova. But this Hamas deadline comes 666 days before the eclipse of the century. We're going to cover this and much more. But again, don't forget, we need to finish the war with Gaza, because then we could get to the peace, and then truly the tribulation, end of the world, and Israel's final prophetic 70th week will begin. But who starts it? It's not Trump. It's not Macron. It's not Jared Kushner. It is Mohammed bin Salman. It is Prince Mohammed bin Salman, which equals 666. He is the beast. He's the Prince of the Covenant. And when he confirms the covenant with Israel,
it's the final countdown.
I have been steadfast since 2020, proving all things and rightly dividing the word of truth. So with all that said, welcome to the Watchman Report. All right, so let's get started here because we have a lot to cover. Like I said, I was away from last Friday, Monday, and Wednesday, but we caught up yesterday on a special Thursday edition. But now we're back on track with Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Here we are with Friday. And let us proceed because this was on the front page of the Drudge Report today. And it caught a lot of people off guard as to how bizarre this video was from Donald Trump on Truth Social. He posted this last night, I think around like 10 p.m. or something like that, Eastern time. And it caught a lot of people's attention as to like, wow, this is a little odd. It's a little dark, even though it's Halloween at the end of the month. Because I can imagine the devil with his mystery of iniquity, they're using the cover of Halloween and also the drama, the orchestrated drama between the Republicans and the Democrats to show us what is truly to come in the midnight hour. And that's what Drudge highlighted, calling Donald Trump President Reaper. But now I want to take some time. You know, for all of you guys that think I'm kind of crazy talking about zombies, well, I can prove it that they're in the Bible. The heathen raged, the kingdoms were moved. That's what's going to collapse the world to force us to the middle of the tribulation and the mark of the beast. That's in Psalm 46, verse 6. And don't forget what Lady Gaga said.
We're about to be up all night, waking up for zombie. So put your paws on O for me, you zombie boy. You zombie boy.
She just came out with that song, by the way. Okay? It's not like she came out with that 10 years ago. She just came out with that song because 70% of the world got deceived to receive the Jesuit Corona juice, and they're ready to rage. Don't forget that other song.
Gotta feel the rage.
I think you know already. But either way, I'm about to play this clip that Donald Trump posted where he shows himself as a Grim Reaper. And then we're going to have a teaching on Satan having a counterfeit reaping to the Lord's reaping at the end of the world, which is the harvest coming up with the wheat and the tares. So I'll do a little teaching on that because Satan, he counterfeits God, because before he fell from heaven as lightning when he was the anointed cherub that covered the throne of God, named Lucifer, he said in his heart, I will be like the Most High. He wants to be like God. He counterfeits God. And God has a reaping at the end of the world. That's his harvest. But Satan has a harvest as well. Don't forget what that witch Florence said. Notice how she mentions a harvest coming up from the needle.
The witchcraft, the medicine, the spells, and the injections, the harvest, the needle, protect me from evil, the magic and the misery, madness and the mystery. Oh, what has it done to me? Everybody scream.
So, with that as the primer, let us take a look at this bizarre video from Donald Trump. But if you have eyes to see, don't forget there's plenty to see right now, and they're just showing you about what is truly coming as we get to the midnight hour, because that's what they also show you here. They show you a Grim Reaper. They show you the midnight hour. They show you freaking zombies. But they're going to use it as an excuse that, oh, this is about the Democrats. This is Halloween. Yeah, Either way, we're on Operation Warp Speed to the end. Check it out. And don't forget, you saw some little allusions to a skull there. All they that hate me love death. All they that hate the Lord Jesus Christ, the true and living God, they love death. So there goes a bunch of skulls. But I don't know if you caught those zombies, y'all. I mean, I kind of chuckled a little bit when I saw that last night. I said, oh, man, you know what, man? If you have been doubting how everything's connecting here to a real zombie apocalypse in the Bible from the Jesuit Corona Jews, I don't know what to tell you at this point. They're being pretty blatant. They are screaming it at us. They are screaming it out at us. And I'm not done yet, because I got more allusions to the upcoming rage as well from more of Satan's entertainment industry as they continue to show us what's yet to come. So again, that's all from Trump. He posted that himself. A lot of people that don't have eyes to see, like us here, they should at least, at bare minimum, they should see that video as bizarre. They should be like, what the heck is this? You know? Here comes the Reaper. Oh, he sure is. All right? He sure is. He sure is. And we're going to get to that right now. Specifically from the book of Revelation. But let's go just through some of these screenshots that really caught my attention with that short video that Trump posted. So Trump is playing the cowbell with some skeletons in the background by Capitol Hill. And you see also the midnight hour. That is the darkest time right there. That's the middle of the tribulation going into the great tribulation, final 3.5 years before the Lord returns. And then there goes the Reaper. We're going to cover that from the Bible. There are reapers. There's multiple reapers coming up. And we've had a teaching on this, but I'll reteach it again with an allusion that we are seeing Satan setting up for his counterfeit reaping with the Jesuit Corona Jews. But again, one of the big highlights is zombies. Huh? You like that? You like how Trump is showing us some zombies? You like that? Either way. And there goes the skull, a little girl wearing the MAGA hat. And don't forget, MAGAs are practicing witches, like we recently highlighted from Discovery Channel. They said practicing MAGAs, which are witches. So mote it be for all my Masons out there. All right, man. Every Masonic lodge is a portal to witchcraft. That's what they call the royal craft, man. Witchcraft and Masonry are one and the same. They say the same crap, like so mote it be. But either way, that was posted yesterday from Donald Trump on October 2nd, 2025. And of course, don't forget, people are going to be like, oh, it's for Halloween. Oh, it's about the Democrats. No, you idiot. They're telling us that the end is coming. The midnight hour, there's going to be a reaping at the end of the world and some stupid zombies coming from the Jesuit Corona juice. You freaking idiots. Wake up. Wake up, because some of you are going to wake up a zombie.
We're about to be up all night, waking up a zombie. So put your paws all over me, you zombie boy. You zombie boy.
Listen, man, the buck stops when you come to the Watchman Report. The deceptions should be over once you come to a faithful ambassador, which is health. But now, I do want to do a little teaching here on the reapings from the Lord. There are 2 reapings from the Lord at the end of the tribulation, but I'm also showing you that the devil has a counterfeit reaping to the Lord's reaping, and it comes before the end of the world. He's going to reap all right, those that got the Jesuit Corona juice. But now, in Matthew 13, it says, the enemy that sowed them is the devil. And that's a lowercase d because he doesn't ultimately get the victory. All right, that is Satan right there, but it's a lowercase d because he does not win in the end. And it says here, the harvest. Remember, like Florence said, the harvest. All right, yeah, the harvest is the end of the world, at the end of the tribulation. And the reapers, here comes the reaper, and the reapers are the angels of God, righteous angels. And where else do we see that? In Revelation 14. This is at the end of the tribulation when the reapings from the Lord are going to collect the wheat and the tares. They're going to grow up together. The wheat are real believers. Remember, few there be that find it, that know the right gospel in Romans 3 of just believing in Jesus and having faith in his blood. That's how you are justified today. You have to do that until you die or the Lord returns. Believe in Jesus, have faith in his blood, and you are part of the wheat. But if you don't, and you're lost in trespasses and sins, well, you're part of the tares. And at the end of the tribulation, this will come to pass that I'm about to read. And it says, and I looked, and behold, a white cloud. And upon the cloud one sat like unto the Son of Man. That's the Lord Jesus Christ. And I want you to take very important note here. He is going to do a reaping himself. There's one reaping from the Lord for the wheat, the real believers. And there's another reaping from the angels, which are for the tares, which are the lost, that died in their trespasses and sins or are still sinners when the Lord returns. But let's continue. It says, having on his head a golden crown and in his hand a sharp sickle. The Lord himself has a sharp sickle at the end of the tribulation. And another angel came out of the temple, crying with a loud voice to him that sat on the cloud, thrust in thy sickle and reap. Here comes the reaper. For the time is come for thee to reap, for the harvest of the earth, that's the end of the world, is ripe. And he that sat on the cloud, who's that? That's the Lord Jesus Christ, thrust in his sickle on the earth for the wheat, for the real believers. And the earth was reaped. That's on the day of the Lord. That's at the last trump. That is the first resurrection right there for the wheat. Do you guys get it in the live chat? That's the first resurrection. That's for the quick. That's for the wheat. And watch what else happens at the end of the tribulation. And he that sat on the cloud thrust in his sickle on the earth, and the earth was reaped. And another angel came out of the temple, which is in heaven, he also having a sharp sickle. Oh, so that's not the Lord anymore. Just like we see here, the reapers are the angels. That coincides with this that I'm about to read. It says here, and another angel came out from the altar, which had power over fire. Oh, there goes the prince of the power of the fire, of fire. Remember, Satan is the prince of the power of the air. Satan has power over the air. But this angel that has no name given to us, He has power over the element of fire. He is the prince of the power of fire. And it says here, and cried with a loud cry to him that sat on, that had the sharp sickle, saying, thrust in thy sickle. Sorry, let me read that again. Thrust in thy sharp sickle and gather the clusters of the vine of the earth, for her grapes are fully ripe. And the angel thrust in his sickle into the earth at the end of the tribulation. That's the harvest. I just read that. The harvest is the end of the world. The reapers are the angels from the Gospel of Matthew. But watch what happens. For her grapes are fully ripe. These are the tares. These are all that are still sinners when the Lord returns. And the angel thrust in his sickle into the earth and gathered the vine of the earth and cast it into the great winepress of the wrath of God. That is going to come to pass at the second resurrection when they are judged at the great white throne judgment and then cast into the lake of fire. Remember, and whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. That is the great winepress of the wrath of God. And the winepress was trodden without the city. That's outside of Jerusalem. When the Lord returns in flaming fire. And it says here, and blood in the valley of decisions, multitudes in the valley of decision when the Lord returns. And blood came out of the winepress, even unto the horses' bridles. That's a lot of blood coming up. That's the Jesus coming up, y'all. That is the Jesus that's coming to judge and make war. Remember, if you don't want grace and peace, you're gonna get to judge and make war. That's the opposite. Okay? We have grace and peace today. We are in the dispensation of the grace of God as I speak right now. But when the Lord returns, it's the opposite. All right? We got grace and peace right now. You better decide wisely. You better get on the winning team. You better believe. But if you don't, hey, you don't have to. People are about to get to judge and make war. That's the Jesus coming back. And it says here, and blood came out of the winepress, even unto the horse's bridle, by the space of 1,600 furlongs. That's a lot, y'all. That's a lot of blood in the valley of decision. Either way, that's enough. I wanted to remind you that God has his reaping, but with the COVID jab, the devil has a counterfeit reaping coming up. So now let us proceed, because this is how it's lining up, y'all. It is lining up that on the eclipse of the century, which is on August 2nd, which could be written 8/2, that is going to be what looks to be the COVID or the corona supernova that's going to cause the people that got that juice to get put to use. All right. Now, let's just put together some dots here. Let's connect some dots, because on the same day that Trump posts zombies and a Grim Reaper, he also tells Hamas, you have till Sunday. And I want to show you Sunday coming up, October 5th, 2025, to the eclipse of the century. The Hamas deadline that was given by Trump on Sunday is 666 days away from the eclipse of the century on August 2nd, 2027. I do not find that a coincidence. And also, I told you, the devil has a reaping coming up. And notice the following here. With the practice of gematria, of taking letters to numbers, as to how the devil might be doing it by the numbers here, Lucifer's reaping, that equals a value of 82, like August 2nd. And notice the following. I want to remind you that we are coming upon the 2nd year anniversary of October 7th. But don't forget, one of the events that has been documented with a film was at a Israeli music festival in Israel that was called Supernova. They call it the Supernova Massacre. And I'm about to tell you, it looks to be that on August 2nd, there will be a supernova, and then there's going to be a massacre from the 70% of the world that got the Jesuit Corona juice. And another thing that came to my attention is that October 7th is the day of the year 280 Well, just eliminate the zero value and you have a 2-8 reference for August 2nd yet again. All right, so there's a lot connecting to that date. There's a lot. But either way, that's enough of that. Let us now proceed to some of the big updates that I definitely wanted to get to today. I came on a little late because I wanted to get that video from Donald Trump with his response to Hamas making an announcement. So we're going to cover the following today. Trump sets Sunday deadline, like we just did. Number 2 is Hamas makes an announcement that it's willing to participate with the Trump plan. They want to release the hostages, but we're going to see. It was not everything has been confirmed right now. There's just a lot of, fair speeches right now. And number 3 is we're going to highlight some more rage illusions coming up with Satan's Hollywood. But let us now proceed. And as of today, by the way, I want to read to you what Donald Trump posted on social media. And he said the following here: Hamas has been a ruthless and violent threat for many years in the Middle East. They have killed and made lives unbearably miserable, culminating with the October 7th massacre in Israel. Babies, women, children, old people, and many young men and women, boys and girls, getting ready to celebrate their future lives together. As retribution for the October 7th attack on civilization, more than 25,000 Hamas soldiers have already been killed. Most of the rest are surrounded and military trapped, just waiting for me to give the word go for their lives to be quickly extinguished. As for the rest, we know where and who you are, and you will be hunted down and killed. I am asking that all innocent Palestinians immediately leave this area of potentially great future death for safer parts of Gaza. Everyone will be well cared for by those that are waiting to help. Fortunately for Hamas, however, they will be given one last chance. Great, powerful, and very rich nations of the Middle East and the surrounding areas beyond, together with the United States of America, have agreed with Israel signing on to peace after 3,000 years in the Middle East. We're getting to Daniel 9:27, the beast peace, y'all. Don't forget, that's what I've been talking about since 2020. This deal also spares the lives of all remaining Hamas fighters. The details of the document are known to the world, and it is a great one for all. We will have peace in the Middle East one way or the other. The violence and bloodshed will stop. I think he grammatically, that it should be release the hostages, all of them, including the bodies of those that are dead now. An agreement must be reached with Hamas by Sunday evening at 6 p.m. Washington, D.C. time. Every country has signed on. If this last chance agreement is not reached, all hell, like no one has ever seen before, will break out against Hamas. There will be, that's what I quoted on our thumbnail today. That's what I quoted on our title. This is very bold. There will be peace in the Middle East, one way or the other. He said that twice, established by Donald Trump. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. And notice, today also, the White House press secretary, I was also enlightened that she is press secretary number 36, like 666 is the 36 triangular number. But she said the following today: Hamas will face grave consequences if it doesn't accept Trump deal. Man, oh man, we are getting there, y'all. We are getting there. It's almost here. The real end of the world, the real beast peace. They're forcing stuff right now. They are getting things done. There will be peace in the Middle East. And right after that, today, all right? So a lot of that was pretty much all today. We're on warp speed to the end of the world. Don't forget. So today, it was also announced by Hamas. Hamas agrees to release all Israeli hostages, alive or bodies, under U.S. President Trump's proposal. Now, I want to show you how the devil's doing this by the numbers with his mystery of iniquity, which doth already work. Today is 18 days to Benjamin Netanyahu's birthday. IHS for the Jesuit order equals 18, like 6 plus 6 plus 6 equals 18. Don't forget, IHS for the Jesuits, the militia of the Vatican, the great city of Revelation 17:18, they are rowing into the deep. The deep is the end of the world, man. We're getting there. We are freaking getting there. Now, the official statement from Hamas says the following. I'm going to read it all. This is all very important stuff that you need to understand right now, okay? If you've been following me for any length of time, all this stuff that I'm about to read is not a bunch of fluff, all right? You know, they're trying to distract you right now with Puff Daddy again. They're trying to tell you Diddy is about to get sentenced to how many years in jail or whatever. That's all distraction. Forget about that crap. This is what really matters, okay? So now let me read the Hamas statement. It says, out of concern to stop the aggression and genocide, our steadfast people in the Gaza Strip are facing and stemming from national responsibility and commitment to our people's constant rights and supreme interests. The Islamic resistance movement, Hamas, has conducted extensive consultations within its leadership institutions, broad consultations with Palestinian factions, as well as discussions with mediators and friends to reach a responsible stance in dealing with President Donald Trump's plan. After through study, the movement has made its decision and conveyed the following response to the mediators. Hamas values the Arab, Islamic, and international efforts, as well as the efforts of U.S. President Donald Trump, calling for an end to the war on Gaza, a prisoner exchange, the immediate entry of aid, rejection of the occupation of Gaza, and rejection of the displacement of our people from it. In this framework, and in a matter that achieves an end to the war and full withdrawal from the Strip, the movement announces its approval. Its approval to, remember, that's approval, to release all occupation prisoners, both living and remains, according to the exchange formula outlined in President Trump's proposal, with the necessary field conditions ensured for the exchange process. In this context, the movement affirms its readiness to immediately enter negotiations through mediators to discuss the details. The movement also renews its approval to hand over the administration of the Gaza Strip to a Palestinian body of independents, technocrats, based on national Palestinian consensus and supported by Arab and Islamic backing. As for the other issues in Trump's proposal relating to the future of Gaza and the inherent rights of the Palestinian people, these are tied to a collective national position and to relevant international laws and resolutions. They will be discussed through a comprehensive Palestinian national framework in which Hamas will participate and contribute responsibly. I don't think that last part is going to be appreciated right there. I don't think nobody likes that last part right there, where Hamas wants to contribute responsibly. That ain't going to happen. But either way, note the following here. Senior Hamas official said U.S. plans 72-hour window for releasing hostages is unrealistic. He said that today. But again, notice how they love these numbers, okay? 72. I was wondering, why 72? Why not 24? Why not 48? Why not 90? Why did they have to say 72? Well, 66 plus 6 equals 72. There goes a 666 reference right there, man. Either way, in regards to Palestine, notice what we see today at the Vatican with Rome's Palestine. Here goes the state of Palestine on X, showing us the following. Pope Leo with young Palestinians from the youth of Jesus' homeland in Palestine. What retardedness. What absolute foolery. All right, that is not the truth. Jeez, I mean, the Lord is from the tribe of Judah. He's the Lion of the tribe of Judah. Judah. In Israel. Either way, man. I mean, don't forget, Don't forget that Palestine is in the book of Joel for the Palestine of today. But how did it get that name? Through the Emperor Hadrian of the ancient Roman Empire. So when I tell you that's Rome's Palestine, oh, indeed it is. That's where the name comes from. So there it goes. As this is all happening today, we got this happening in Roma, the great city of Revelation 17:18, which reigneth over the kings of the earth with her Jesuit power structure. But note the following here as well from Hamas. We reject any non-Palestinian role in governing. Oh man, listen, we're getting to Joel chapter 3 verse 2, where it says that the land will be parted when the Lord returns with that two-state solution, man. We are getting there. It's all at the door. And notice the following. Hamas also said, we are ready to negotiate release of all prisoners. You know, this kind of had me a little sad today because it also said the following. Some prisoner bodies are buried, so they're going to have to unbury them. That sucks, man. Others remain where Israeli forces are present. You know, that's sad, man. That's just sad. Either way, you know, the whole situation sucks. But either way, you know, Yemen with the Houthis are also saying that, you know, they're backing up their heroic brothers with this particular statement as well. But in regards to the Pope, the Chicago Pope, the first American Pope, like we recently highlighted, he was recently in a field suggesting to us the harvest coming in with the wheat and the tares that I just read about. But also, like we just covered on our last report, he just blessed a block of ice, which should remind you of the great hail that's coming out in the Great Tribulation, man. All right? When you have eyes to see, there is plenty to see right now as we head to the real final countdown and end of the world. But this is what I was waiting for because they made an announcement with the press secretary saying, behind the scenes in the Oval Office, President Trump responds to Hamas acceptance of his peace plan. Stay tuned. And I think they had to do this because a lot of people, they might have been catching on to how there was artificial intelligence videos being produced for when Charlie Kirk died. So they want to make you think now, oh, wait a minute, this is not AI generated. Look, here's the behind the scenes. This is an actual image of the Oval Office. So I was waiting around for this, and this is what we got. I'm going to play the video, but prior to the video, Trump also released the following that I can imagine caught a lot of Israelis off guard. A lot of Israelis, when I was looking at Israeli live feeds, they were a little off guard by what Trump was just trying to tell them to do. A lot of Israelis, they felt the same treatment as to what happened with Iran. You know, they were going back and forth with Iran. Then Trump came and ended it with the 12-day war, and he's trying to end it now with Gaza. It was very abrupt on the Israeli side. That's what they feel. But notice what Trump said here right before he released this video. This is all today, guys. All this happened today. So remember, there's a lot going on, all right? A faithful ambassador is health. And a little thanks goes a long way because in everything we should be giving thanks, the book says. But also, note what it says here from Donald Trump. Based on the statement just issued by Hamas, that's after Hamas said they've accepted, right? He said, I believe they are ready for a lasting peace. Notice what he then says. Israel must immediately stop the bombing of Gaza. It's very similar to what happened with Iran, so that we can get the hostages out safely and quickly. Right now, it's far too dangerous to do that. We are already in discussions on details to be worked out. This is not about Gaza alone. This is about long-sought peace in the Middle East. Oh, man. And also, right after the Hamas statement, Jesuit J.D. Vance, who has an August 2nd birthday for the supernova coming up, Jesuit J.D. Vance, our vice president, he said, proud of the president and the entire team. Pray for peace. Oh, yeah, and by peace, the beast shall destroy many coming up. But with all that said, guys, y'all better brace for impact. The beast peace is around the door, man. Check out Donald Trump and notice how he gives a shout out to Saudi Arabia, the kingdom of the beast. Check it out.
I want to thank the countries that helped me put this together. Qatar, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Jordan, and so many others. So many people fought so hard. This is a big day. We'll see how it all turns out. We have to get the final word down and concrete. Very importantly, I look forward to having the hostages come home to their parents and having some of the hostages, unfortunately, you know the condition they're in, come home likewise to their parents because their parents wanted them just as much as though that young man or young woman were alive. So I just want to let you know that this is a very special day, maybe unprecedented in many ways. It is unprecedented. But thank you all, and thank you all to those great countries that helped. We were given a tremendous amount of help. Everybody was unified in wanting this war to end and seeing peace in the Middle East, and we're very close to achieving that. Thank you all, and everybody will be treated fairly.
Don't let the bastards get you down. 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 Don't let the bastards
Get you down. Don't let them get you down, man. Remember, he that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh. The Lord is going to have the last laugh, and the Lord shall have them in derision very soon. But either way, notice what they're telling us right now. Netanyahu is surprised. Trump told him to stop bombing Gaza. No, that's all Jesuit theater. Don't forget, they both jabbed up their nations. They're both ready, rowing into the deep, all right? They are in constant communication. They know what's up, man. This is all Jesuit theater. I'm sure Bibi is not surprised. Remember, this is all happening 18 days before Bibi's upcoming birthday. IHS for the Jesuits equals 18 with gematria. They are rowing into the deep. And notice, we have the former Prime Minister, Yair Lapid. He has a Jesuit November 5th birthday. Remember the 5th of November, which leaves 56 stinking days in the year for when the Jesuits tried to kill King James. And Yair Lapid, he has a birthday on November 5th. He's another stinking Jesuit. But notice what it says here. President Trump is right that there is a genuine opportunity to release the hostages and end the war. Israel should announce it is joining the discussions led by the president to finalize the details of the deal. I have told the U.S. administration that Netanyahu has political backing at home to continue the process. Remember, don't forget what The Economist just recently showed us on September 20th with their cover that says how Israel is losing America. Oh man, they're going to be alone pretty soon. Either way, don't forget who the beast has a bromance with. Notice the following article here from the Hoover Institution. It says here, the Trump MBS bromance and the future of Saudi-U.S. relations. President Donald Trump has repeatedly expressed his admiration for Saudi Arabia and its crown prince, Mohammed bin Salman. In a speech in Riyadh in May 2025, Trump lavished praise on his host, calling him your greatest representative, and adding, I like him a lot. I like him too much. Let me remind you of this hall of shame. If you have eyes to see, this is the beast decoy, Donald Trump, just sucking up to the real biblical beast of Revelation 13, Mohammed bin Salman. Let's look at this hall of shame again as a good reminder. The Trump beast romance.
I want to thank His Royal Highness, the Crown Prince, for that incredible introduction. He's an incredible man. Known him a long time now. There's nobody like him. Thank you very much. Appreciate it very much, my friend. King Solomon, who's just, we talk about a great man. That is a great man. That is a great man, a great family. Now, that visit took place exactly 8 years ago. The graciousness of the royal family and the Saudi people is really unsurpassed, no matter where you go. With this historic state visit, we celebrate more than 80 years of close partnership between the United States and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Ever since President Franklin Roosevelt met with King Solomon's father, King Abdul Aziz, aboard the USS Quincy in 1945, after so many decades of conflict, finally it is within our grasp to reach the future that generations before us could only dream about, a land of peace, safety, harmony, opportunity, innovation, and achievement right here in the Middle East. So beautiful. It's such a beautiful thing that's happening, I guess. And with the historic Abraham Accords that we're so proud of, all the momentum was aimed at peace, and it aimed very successfully. It's been an amazing thing, the Abraham Accords, and it's my fervent hope, wish, and even my dream that Saudi Arabia, a place I have such respect for, especially over the last fairly short period of time, what you've been able to do, but we'll soon be joining the Abraham Accords. I think it'll be a tremendous tribute to your country, and it will be something that's really going to be very important for the future of the Middle East. I took a risk in doing them, and they've been an absolute bonanza for the countries that have joined. The Biden administration did nothing for 4 years. We would have had it filled out. But it will be a special day in the Middle East with the whole world watching when Saudi Arabia joins us, and you'll be greatly honoring me, and you'll be greatly honoring all of those people that have fought so hard for the Middle East, and I really think it's going to be something special, but you'll do it in your own time, and that's what I want, and that's what you want, and that's the way it's going to be. But we have none stronger and nobody like the gentleman that's right before me. He's your greatest representative, greatest representative. And if I didn't like him, I'd get out of here so fast. You know that, don't you? He knows me well. I do. I like him a lot. I like him too much. That's why we give so much, you know? Too much. I like you too much. Oh, what I do for the Crown Prince. So, Mohammed, I want to thank you again very much for having me. And as a representative of what I think is the greatest nation in the world, we are with you all the way, and you have a tremendous future. Thank you very much. And please pay my respects to your father. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Oh, man, going down memory lane. That was only in May of this year right there. Do not forget that one. Whenever I get the opportunity and I get the time, I'll try to remind you of how the President of the United States sucked up to the real biblical beast of Revelation, huh? Oh, man, this is so sad. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Either way, I now want to go to what Israel, Channel 14, was saying. Like I said, Israel, they got caught off guard by how Trump was saying, stop right now. And here goes Israel 14 with a statement saying, Trump has fallen into Hamas's trap. There has been no response from Israeli officials so far. The reaction from Hebrew outlets is mixed, ranging from anger to disappointment. Now, I want to take you to some of the scenes from all over Telegram. Our favorite wolf, Amir Safardi, said, the test is simple. Will Hamas release all the hostages? Also, a pro-Palestinian account by the name of Middle East Spectator said the following: I do not think there will be a deal or peace. The U.S. and Israel will not agree to the demands Hamas made today. America is just pretending not to notice the changes made by Hamas. Palestinian-led administration, no disarmament, full withdrawal, etc. They're simply kicking the can down the road. I'm in agreement with that. The moment the two sides actually sit down for talks on the details of the agreement, it'll fail unless they miraculously agree to Hamas's additional points that were mentioned today. And also from pro-Israeli Israel Today, they said the following: Israel is in a bit of a shock at the moment, as Trump appears to be imposing a ceasefire in Gaza, just as he did in Iran. That's exactly what I thought, the way he kind of just stopped it. He just wants to stop it. And you can see some of the scenes here from Channel 12 in Israel. I actually translated it from Hebrew. They had those headlines there. Israel should cease fire. So they were highlighting that. And at the same time, you could see they were mentioning some of the highlights on I-24 in Israel, saying Israel has not yet officially responded. Hamas's response and Trump's announcement. It says here, Vice President Vance says proud of the president and the staff. Egypt and Qatar welcome positive developments. France and Italy and other countries support Trump's announcement and the end of the war. But like I said, also today, we see Israel striking targets for Hezbollah, most likely, in Lebanon. So we saw that today as well. And there were reports of violent attacks in Gaza City right after Trump said to stop bombing Gaza. And I would imagine that they probably want to get some stuff in before they have to make a statement. And these are some of the scenes from Israel tonight after Trump said to stop from Gaza. Check it out. So that was today. Right after Trump said to stop, they were reporting of violent attacks in Gaza. Because I would imagine Israel wants to unload before they have to make a statement. Now, this is also on the radar from Iran Observer on X. We are seeing reports that Russian Air Force cargo planes continue to land in Iran. Some planes are coming from the Irkutsk plants in Siberia, where Su-30s are manufactured. So let's see how this cookie starts to crumble here. But as it crumbles, don't forget to keep your eyes on the crux of the matter. This is what truly starts the end. When MBS the Beast does that deal with Israel, who is powered by the dragon. And speaking of the dragon, don't forget in Revelation 13 it says, and the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard. That's why Saudi Arabia has Arabian Leopard Day. And his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon, there goes the devil, gave him, the beast MBS, his power and his seat and great authority. And speaking of the dragon, in The Economist, recently published today, they have this thumbnail here where it says, Infernal Dragon, like hellish dragon, infernal, huh? Like the Inferno, but either way, Infernal Dragon. And then it says how Saudi Arabia became a video game superpower. It's by the Infernal Dragon that gives him his power, man. Either way, I made this gram of truth recently with a very rare image of MBS. When MBS was younger, here he goes holding a Saudi sword, which is really the sword of Esau. Because don't forget, the beast is a child of Esau. He's an Edomite. He's rebuilding the land of Eden in northwestern Saudi Arabia that they call Neom today. As per Malachi 1:4, that is the fulfillment of Edom coming back to rebuild the desolate places. And don't forget what Isaac, his father, told Esau. And by the sword shalt thou live. And the Lord tells us when you live by the sword, you're going to die by the sword. And over here, he's the beast, which will have the wound by a sword, and by the middle of the tribulation, he's killed and is resurrected and did live. That's all about to go down, y'all. But a couple other things that I wanted to mention. Here are some notable other events coming up this month in October. We have the first Russian Arab Summit coming up on October 15th. And then shortly after that, we have an October meeting of major superiors of the Jesuit order that truly runs the show, the Society of Judas. They're going to be meeting at the General Curia in Rome. This is a very rare thing here, okay? The third meeting of the major superiors of the society will hold in October. The first two meetings were in 2000 and 2005 in accordance with a decision taken by the 34th General Congregation to hold a meeting of major superiors approximately every 6 years beginning from the last General Congregation to consider the state, the problems, and the initiatives of the Universal Society of Judas, as well as an international and supra-provincial cooperation. So you can tell the devil is on the move, specifically with the high-level sorcerers of the Society of Judas. So that's also what we got coming up. So don't forget, I'm keeping an eye on these things. And speaking of the Jesuits, here's another allusion to their Jesuit Corona juice, which is on the loose and pretty soon is going to get put to use. Coming up also this month in October, if you have a Netflix subscription, they got a film coming out called The Elixir. And note how the devil does it by the numbers. The elixir, with the practice of gematria, of taking letters to numbers, equals 56, like COVID vaccine, like coronavirus, like zombie rage equals 56. And take note that this zombie film is coming out on October 23rd this month on Netflix. And that is also the birthday of the founder of the Society of Judas. That is Ignatius of Loyola. And there he goes with the corona right behind him. And here is a scene from one of these ragers. And don't forget, the zombie apocalypse is in the Bible. In Psalm 46:6, the heathen raged, the kingdoms were moved. And with that said, let's check out the trailer to this upcoming rager film that is based out of Indonesia, which is highly jabbed up.
Ini jamu baru. Jamu yang akan mengubah dunia. Bapak tuh sebenarnya kenapa sih?
Sini lo berani!
Bapak namain jamu ini jamu abadi nan jaya.
Oh man, that one looks interesting. I'll probably be checking it out with some subtitles. But I wanted to remind you of some of the scenes from when COVID hit in Indonesia. Here goes the real elixir right there. There goes the elixir. That's the elixir that they're talking about. That's going to make those people rage. And I want to tell you, 75% of Indonesia got the juice. You got the juice now. You got the juice. Oh, tell me what you got. You got the Pfizer. You got Moderna. And there goes their leader, that sellout, pushing the juice with the beast and with the Jesuit Pope. And Indonesia among the world's top 5 countries with highest vaccination coverage. And don't forget Indonesia, that is the country that has the highest Muslim population. Oh man, either way, you're about to see some crazy jihadists coming up. Now, again, don't forget, we're on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on the following platforms. We back up all our reports to our website. And also, if you want the news updates in real time, go to Telegram at Watchman_report. And if you want the latest content via email, sign up to our free email newsletter on the homepage or the blog. And do not forget to share, download, and also, if you haven't already, watch our films on the end times and the beast at beingjustified.com/beast. And remember, we got one more film for the Great Tribulation called 3 Unclean Spirits coming out this year. And my brother said you should start working on it sooner rather than later. But don't forget, we got October, we got November, and we got December. All right, so I got 3 months left, and I want to finish this. And that'll be it for the films of the end of the world from beingjustified.com. But as a faithful ambassador, I'm also called to warn every man, chiefly about the following. And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. You want your name in that book? Because I know you don't want to burn. And I'm here to tell you, the sun above your heads, which everybody knows is hot, is the lake of fire. And that is the second death where hell and death itself will be cast into. So now, let us go to Romans 3 in the Authorized King James Bible, which is the very pure word of God in English. This is the book of the Lord. And I want to take you to Romans 3, where the real gospel is for the dispensation of the grace of God. The gospel is not in Romans 10, is not in 1 Corinthians 15, and the gospel is not in John 3:16 for today. Remember, if any man preaches any other gospel other than this Romans 3 right here, they are accursed of God, like the book of Galatians says. Because Paul says in Romans chapter 1, I am ready to preach the gospel to you that are at Rome also. And this is what you must do today to be justified freely, where it says, for all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. Remember, the wages of sin is death. That's why everybody dies, because that is proof all have sinned. Being justified, that is the righteousness of God. That's what you want. Today, we are saved by grace through faith, and it is not of works, lest any man should boast. It is a free gift today, freely by his grace. You don't work for a free gift. And notice, through the redemption, that's forgiveness of sins, that is in Christ Jesus. That's why you believe in Jesus, whom God, that is the Father, hath set forth to be a propitiation. That means God the Father sent his only begotten Son forth to be made sin for us who knew no sin, through faith in his blood. And do not forget, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the blood, all right, and the evidence of things not seen. God the Father has faith in the blood of his only begotten Son. So should you, because it is the blood that maketh an atonement for the soul. That is the message of the man. You believe in the man Jesus, the man Christ Jesus, and you believe his message that his blood paid for your sins, to declare his righteousness for the remission of sins that are past. Remember, not our righteousness. The faith of Jesus is the righteousness of God who never sinned. Through the forbearance of God, God forbeared all that sin until the cross, because he knew it was coming, to declare, I say, at this time his righteousness, not our righteousness, his righteousness, that he, God, might be just. Remember, God is just. Sin will be paid for. If you want to reject this, go for it. But you will pay for your sins yourself in the lake of fire. Remember, only stupid people go to hell. And the justifier of him. God is the justifier of that singular person, him. That is where in the Bible you can point and prove to people that your name is in the book of life. If someone were to ask you the very cool, very prudent question, hey, can you prove to me your name is in the book of life? You could say, yes. Let's go to Romans 3 right here. I am the him which believeth in Jesus. Believe in Jesus, have faith in his blood, because that deal with the beast and Israel is about to go down, and then
This is the end, and I remember this feeling. Now I can breathe easy, no need to feel sorry. We should move up, we should move on, 'cause there's no coming back.
pretty soon, there's no coming back after that deal. 7 years left approximately, because the Lord has to shorten it or no flesh would be saved. And then he comes back in flaming fire, taking vengeance on them that know not God. And also remember, I'm bold enough not only to prove to you that MBS is the beast, but it's established by my Father in heaven that he's the beast, because the number of his name is 666 twice. And when my Father does stuff like that, the thing is established by God, and God will shortly bring it to pass. There goes the ciphers, there goes the math, and do not forget, 942 is 666 in base 12 counting. And don't forget, the beast himself said every day we're getting closer to him fulfilling Daniel 9:27, most likely parting God's land like Joel 3:2 shows us, and allowing the Jews to build the third temple like Revelation 11 shows us. Here goes the timeline of the final week for Israel, rightly divided, that you could download at beingjustified.com/Daniel, because I'm here to tell you, right after that deal with MBS in Israel, the two witnesses, Moses and Elijah, are coming to witness. And then by the middle of the tribulation, the beast is killed and risen with Judas in him. Don't forget, Judas is the 8th king of Revelation 17. That is of the 7. MBS is going to be the 7th. And notice, then we get the great tribulation with the vials of the wrath of God pouring out on the beast worshiping world, and then the second coming. But again, there's more details to it, and if you want those, go to our website. Again, blessed are those servants whom the Lord, when he cometh, shall find watching, like we do here on the Watchman Report. If you're thankful, feel free to donate at beingjustified.com/donate. Give us a like, share the links. Join our free Bible school where we teach the Bible for free. It's online and it's self-paced so that Christ can be formed in you. And don't forget what makes us special. We know justifications in Romans 3. We know the very pure word of God is the King James. That's all authority, the book of the Lord. And we read that book according to that commandment in Romans 16 to be established. But now, I wanted to premiere another Rage K-pop music video song that my brother Jason just alluded me to. And take note of one of these lyrics that really caught my attention, where it says, "Now the demons crawling through my veins." I wonder how that could be happening. Either way, with all that said, that's going to be it for our Friday edition of the Watchman Report. This is your faithful ambassador in Christ's stead, Marco Ponce of BeingJustified.com. For all those that watch, thank you. And check out this new COVID jabbed up mockery K-pop song, man. They get so blatant with these things. If you don't know what they're talking about, I don't know what to tell you. But let's keep watching. Let's see the developments with Hamas coming up over the weekend. Enjoy, and we'll see you on the next one. Farewell.
Baby, now I'm flashing my thanks. Sweet on my tongue, but it won't keep the booze away. My heart pounding so loud. I wanna be in all my clothes. They breaking out. Hooked on my sugar high. Got a big body sign. I can't feel the pain. I'm out of my mind and I like it. I'm always calling, but I changed my name. Honey, just venom now. It's far too late. Look how the tables turn, baby. Watch it, 'cause I'm coming with the bye. No turning back, 'cause you be mine. Decides it never lost to sight. Nothing is going through my veins. No, coming with the pride. I ain't sleeping, but you're bleeding through the night. Baby, you let me do. Can't skip my bite. See you floating your eyes, a pouring cup me. Smell the fear in your voice, it gets me thirsty. Hold your breath through the night, so you'll stay alive. I might stop when you cry. My heart pounding so loud. I wanna be in all my clothes. They breaking out. You like the sweet, no taste the price. Don't you like it when it cross the line? Give you hell in paradise. The moonlight's calling, but I changed my name. Honey, just venom now. It's far too late. Look how the tables turn, baby. Watch it, 'cause I'm coming with the bye. No turning back, 'cause you be mine. Decides it never lost to sight. Nothing is going through my veins. How soft, but it broke me. The chains get no walls inside. Can feed all to you, but you set it in flames. No, I'm dead you, 'cause I won't just let you go. When I know I see you fly to the shadows. This feeling cuts me like a knife. Watch it, 'cause I'm coming with the bye.